We have been blessed with a wonderful opportunity to present our first program with you, made especially for kids. Kids View is a special talk show designed for kids in which we will be discussing different topics ranging from peer pressure, respecting our parents, having good akhlaq and morals, picking the right friends, importance of prayer, and many, many more topics. We especially encourage all of you, children especially, to call in. We would love to hear from our parents and our families as well. This is a live show, so you can participate in any time by calling in. You can share your thoughts and your views about the topic. And our number is going to be for you on the screen. So you can call in anytime. We would love to hear from you. If you have any special topics or special issues that you feel are a concern today, we would be more than happy to discuss them. You can email us, you can write to us, and we would love to have you on our show. Especially our dear children, I'd love to have you call in and let us know what topics are important for you. What matters to you today? Being a Muslim kid in this world, in the U.S., in Pakistan, wherever you may be, what topics do you think are important for kids to discuss? For our show, we have a very special host. She is a kid herself, and she's in the 6th grade. She is very happy to be here. She's very excited to get to know all of you, inshallah. And please welcome our host, Najiah. Assalamu alaikum, Najiah.
Wa alaikum salam. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear viewers, and thank you for the wonderful introduction. My name is Najiah, and I'm excited to be starting our very first episode of Kids View. There are many shows and talk shows for adults, but this show is made especially for us kids on Velayat TV to discuss issues that we have and that we believe are important. Like Sister Abu mentioned, this is a live show, so I would love to hear your thoughts and comments about the topic of the day. So let's get started. Today's topic is bullying. We're going to talk about the different aspects of bullying, including how to recognize if someone is being bullied or bullying someone else, the 3 types of bullying, and ways to prevent bullying. Have you ever seen anyone being bullied at school before? Have you ever been bullied yourself? I know I have seen kids bullying others many times during school recess, during lunch, and in the classroom. We'd love to hear your experiences, so do give us a call and share your views.
Guys, this is a really important topic. According to the National Bullying Prevention Center, more than 160,000 students in the U.S. alone stay home each day in fear of being bullied. And 77% of students today are bullied. They're bullied either mentally, they're bullied verbally, they're bullied physically. So it is a major problem that children face and an important issue for us to talk about.
As you can see, bullying is a major problem we face today in many schools, which many times gets unnoticed by parents and families. But bullying prevention skills can protect kids from being bullied in the future, increase their self-confidence, and help develop positive peer relationships.
All right, so let's get started off with talking about what bullying is. Can you explain bullying a little bit, Najiah?
Well, bullying is unwanted aggressive behavior that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. The behavior is repeated or often has chances of being repeated over time.
Right.
Now bullying takes place everywhere in the world today, with people of all ages, children, adults, men, women, everybody, and can happen anywhere, at school, at work, and even in sport activities. Our topic for today will focus specifically on bullying that happens at school and with school-aged children. Normally, bullies pick on kids who are physically smaller than them in size or age, or control other kids by sensitive or embarrassing information or popularity at school. Whatever the situation, both kids who are bullied and those who do bullying may have serious lasting problems later on. So it's best to deal with the issue as soon as possible.
Right. So what we've learned is that there are 3 major types of bullying. The first one is verbal, the second is social, and the last one is physical bullying. So let's get started with the first one.
Well, verbal bullying is saying or writing mean things. It also includes teasing, name-calling, taunting, and threatening to cause harm. Social bullying involves hurting someone's reputation or relationship. It includes leaving someone out on purpose, telling other children to be friends with someone else, or spreading rumors about someone. It also includes embarrassing someone in public. Physical bullying involves hurting somebody or their possessions. It includes hitting, kicking, pinching, spitting, tripping, pushing, taking, or breaking someone's things, making mean or rude hand gestures.
So all of this kind of stuff happens at school?
Yes, it does.
So when there's so many different ways that children can get bullied at school, how is it that many times it goes unnoticed? I mean, teachers don't notice it, or the staff doesn't notice it, that all of this is going on. Does this not happen during the classroom, or does it happen during recess? Does it happen during lunch? I mean, can you give me a little bit more explanation?
Well, bullying can happen anytime during or after school. While most reported bullying happens in the school building, a lot of it also happens at places like the playground or the school bus. It can also happen while traveling to or from school or in the neighborhood. I used to work as a conflict manager during recess last year in the 5th grade, and I saw a lot of bullying I saw a lot of bullying, and there was people would pick on them, or they would say that you're usually you're physically smaller. Like the kids who bully are more bigger than.
So what do? They
call them names. They taunt them. They usually. Yeah.
Like they'll take away equipment from them.
Yeah.
If they're bigger, they'll snatch it away and
Yeah.
run away.
Yeah. So a lot of times kids who are bullied don't go to the teacher or recess staff right away to tell what's happening, in fear of something worse happening. So the bully continues the same behavior with the victim.
This is true. I noticed this a lot as well. A lot of times kids are bullied and they don't speak up in fear of something worse happening. They have this fear that maybe if the bully hurt them once, the bully will hurt them again. They'll come after them again if they go and tell their teacher, or if they tell their parents, or if they confide in somebody. So sometimes, more often than not, they keep the problem to themselves. They don't share the information with anybody. And I think as parents and as educators, it's very important for us to look for warning signs that can guide us towards what our children are going through. We should be able to know this type of stuff to look for. Maybe they're depressed, maybe they're hurt, maybe there's something that's missing, maybe they come home from school one day, they went to school in the morning and they didn't have a bruise on their arm, and they come back from school and they have a bruise on their arm. Ask them, why is it there? Get involved with your children. Find out. Sometimes, maybe they're missing an iPod. Maybe they're missing an MP3 player. What happened? Ask them.
Well, there are definitely many warning signs that may show someone is affected by bullying, either being bullied themselves or maybe they're bullying others and we don't know. Recognizing the warning signs is an important job. First, you have to take step against the bullying. So not all children who are bullied or are bullying others. They don't show that they're, they don't show signs. You have to help them. It is important for parents, especially to talk with their children, to show signs of being bullied or bullying others. Talking and communicating with your child is very important and can help you better identify the problem and solution.
That's really good. So let's go through and identify some of the signs. Let's talk about what some of the signs are that we should be looking for in our child or in our children.
Well, you need to be aware that not all children show the signs. So you have to look for unexplainable injuries. Does your child have a bruise, like you said, or there are marks that weren't there before? If they have lost or destroyed clothing, like books, electronics, or jewelry, like their clothes are torn, or their books or iPod or MP3 is missing, and you think, where did it go? They're ill most of the time. They have frequent headaches and frequent stomach aches, and they're trying to fake to be sick. They have changes in their eating habits, like they skip meals or they eat more than they usually did. and they come back from school and they're hungry because they didn't eat lunch. So they can also have difficulty in sleeping, or getting up in the night, or having nightmares, like saying, "Mom, Dad, I can't sleep. I have nightmares." Or this is the most common one. If you get bullies, your grades go down because you're depressed, mentally, kind of depressed, and your loss of interest in your schoolwork, you're missing assignments, and you're avoiding school and social activities. They also can feel loneliness, and they can feel helplessness, and
Depression.
loss. They can feel sad and come back from school and go to sleep, or they feel their energy levels going down.
Very good. These are some really good tips and clues to look for. But it is really important to keep in mind that not all kids who are bullied, again, show all of these signs. They might show one of the signs, they might not show any of the signs at all. So it's very, very important for us as parents to keep our communication open with our child. We should know what's going on with them. We should make sure that nothing is keeping them up at night. They're not waking up at night with nightmares. We should know what's going on. Their main focus as children right now should be to study, basically. Their priority at this age is to freely and comfortably be able to go to school. Studies in itself can be very difficult. They can be, very stressful. There's a lot of pressure at school already to get good grades from parents, from your classmates. There's a lot of competition already, and they shouldn't have to deal with issues such as bullying. It's definitely not needed. So a lot of times we don't realize it, that kids are bullying others, and other kids are being bullied. So it's important for us as parents, as adults, to get involved with our children and find out what's going on. And another perspective also that we were talking about is a lot of times it's the other way around. A lot of times we don't realize it, but our kids are bullying others. Why is that happening? What about then? What are some clues that we can look for in our children to see if they're bullying others? Maybe they're hurting somebody else. What are some things that we should be looking out for in that case?
Well, definitely, it can be the other way around when your child is a bully. So you have to look for things like if they get into physical or verbal fights repeatedly. Okay. They have friends who bully others. They're mean, and they hang out with the wrong type of kids. Who normally like to pick on other people, and they're increasingly aggressive, and there's something different about their behavior, and they're getting angry a lot, and this is for school. They get to they go to the principal's office a lot. They go to detention a lot, and this is if they steal stuff from their victim, is that they take extra. There's unexplainable extra money or belongings, and they don't confess. They blame others for their problems, and they don't accept responsibility for their actions. They don't confess, and they worry a lot about their reputation and popularity.
Great. Okay, so those were some excellent tips. Again, sometimes it's not your child who's being bullied. Sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes your child is the one who's doing the bullying, and that can be a result of the environment maybe. And things to notice again are, a sudden change in behavior. Maybe they're angry all of a sudden. They weren't like that before. Maybe they have, new clothing or a new MP3. Where is that coming from? So these are things that we should be paying attention to. And another key thing here is picking the right type of friends. That's very important. Picking the right type of friends is very, very important. It says that we are known by the company we keep. So it is very important that our kids, and us especially as adults, as parents, are with people who have good behavior, have positive behavior, and spread positive energy around them, to the people around them. One of the biggest problems noticed in not just our communities here in the U.S., but all over the world, is the lack of communication that children have with their parents, children have with their family members or their siblings. They go to school, they come back, a lot of times they don't see their parents, a lot of times parents don't get to see their children. And this is often due to busy schedules, busy work schedules, busy parents, parents get up early in the morning, they go to work, kids are sleeping or kids have already gone to school, and so they're not getting that time together as a family. Then evenings, there's sports activities and different things going on, and they don't get that time to share and communicate with one another what's going on. So here we'd like to say it's very, very critical. It's very important as parents, as adults, as educators, as role models, that we spend at least 10-15 minutes on a daily basis. 10-15 minutes seems like a really short period of time, but that 10-15 minutes can do a lot in building that bridge of communication with you and your child. And you don't have to necessarily talk about school during that time. You can talk about various things. You can talk about their hobbies. You can talk about what they like. Maybe they have a plan to travel somewhere. Maybe they have some new ideas. Maybe they've picked up a new sport. Something to get the conversation going, something that can break the communication gap, something that will give you an entrance into their life and help you figure out what's going on with them. Give them some time, and children really do look up to their parents. They really do look up to us as role models. Even though we think that they don't, they really do pay attention. They really do look to us. And if we give them that 10-15 minutes of our time daily, they will really benefit, and we will benefit as well as a society, as a family. And I think, again, keeping communication open, being comfortable with our parents, it allows children to come to their parents anytime they have some sort of a problem. If they're comfortable with their parents or their caregivers or someone in their family, they know that every time they have a problem, they will be able to freely and comfortably be able to go and discuss any issue with their parents, any issue with their family. They won't have to look, outside their family for support. And that's extremely important. We as parents should make our children feel comfortable. We should make them feel that they can come to us anytime they need support, they need emotional support, or any sort of help at all. What do you think?
Yeah, that's very true. We need to keep the lines of communication open. So always, we need to, research tells us that children really do look to their parents and caregivers for advice and help in tough decisions. Sometimes spending just 15 minutes a day talking can reassure kids that they can talk to their parents if they, have a problem. So start conversations about daily life and feelings, with questions like, what was one good thing that happened today? Any bad things? What is lunch like at your school? Who do you sit with? What do you talk about? What is the ride in the bus? Questions like those.
Great. Those are some good starting questions. So keep the communication open, and like I said, it doesn't have to be about school. It can be about anything that's important for your child, anything that's important to you as a family to discuss. And the main thing is to just have good dialogue, good healthy conversation, and maintain good manners and respect while you are having that conversation. Show your kids how important it is to have a respectful conversation, and just maintain good manners. I know a lot of times kids and parents don't agree exactly, on certain issues. So it's good as for parents to listen, most importantly, and understand what it is that their children are telling them. A lot of times the problem isn't as big as we make it, but sometimes because there's a lack of communication and maybe a lack of understanding due to languages, that might be an issue that sometimes creates this communication confrontation. But listen to your children, listen to what they're saying, give them that time to talk, and just listen. Listen what they have to say.
Yeah, definitely. Kids learn from adults' actions, and by treating others with kindness and respect, adults show the kids in their lives that there's no place for bullying. So me as a kid, I always follow what my parents or siblings do. So you should really be good role models for your children. Even if it seems like they're not paying attention, us kids are watching how adults manage stress and conflict, as well as how they treat their friends and colleagues and families. It's very important.
Okay. So we've talked about what bullying is. We've talked about how we should keep the lines of communication open. Let's say, for example, there is bullying taking place. We looked at the warning signs. We've talked to our kids. We know that something is going on. What are we supposed to do as adults? What are some things that you suggest that adults should do, parents should do to handle the issue with the issue of bullying?
Well, they need to stop bullying on the spot. There are simple steps adults can take to stop bullying on the spot and keep kids safe. they can stay calm and reassure the kids involved and those who are watching. So sometimes there's something with their parents, parents with their children, they get kind of, nervous and kind of hyper, so they need to keep calm. They need to intervene immediately, get involved and find out what is happening. They need to model respectful behavior when getting involved. Okay, we have a call coming right now.
Let's take a call. We're getting a caller. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
My name is Sayed Ali. I'm calling from California.
Assalamu alaikum, Sayyid Ali. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good. How do you feel about bullying?
Bad.
It's bad.
Have you any experience with bullying?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to share it with us? Okay.
Okay. So some of the steps that we were talking about, and this is another thing, is that kids see bullying taking place, but a lot of times it's hard for them to talk about it because, again, they're afraid to get in trouble, maybe by the children who are being bullied themselves, or maybe by those who are doing the bullying. So it can be hard on the kids. Let's get back to what should adults do? So we should stop the bullying on the spot as soon as we find out that bullying is happening.
And they need to model respectful behavior when getting involved.
Okay.
And if you're a teacher and you see this happening, you need to separate the kids involved, like the kids who are involved in it, you need to separate them right away.
Okay.
You need to make sure everything and everyone is safe, and you need to meet any immediate, medical needs if someone's hurt,
I know a lot of times if parents find out that something is going on with their kids or, with their students, they get hyper all of a sudden. And they start to worry a lot. So maybe, what should they do?
They should just stay calm. They need to think before they do everything, and they shouldn't do it all right now. They shouldn't do it right away. They need to think and discuss it and then, do it. Yeah, don't ignore it. Okay. Do you think the kids, don't think that the kids can work it out without, an adult's help? Don't ignore the problem. Don't leave the kids on themselves. They need to, you need to help them solve the problem. Yeah, like we were saying, don't immediately try to sort out the facts. Try to understand without overreacting or getting hyper. So, and don't force other kids to say publicity, what they saw. So don't spread it all around. Just keep it, kind of private, I guess. Don't tell, don't tell
Yeah,
kids.
don't make other kids, tell in front of other kids what just happened, what they saw. You can separate the kids, ask, one of them what happened, listen to their story, and then separate the other group, ask them their story, ask them individually what happened, so you can get a feel for the story and you can hear both sides of what's going on, of what happened, to be fair.
Yeah, you don't make the kids involved apologize or patch up relationships on the spot. You need to do it step by step. So so they don't do it because you told them to, but they do it from the heart. So they actually stay like friends instead of just starting to bully each other again.
Right, that's very good. And a major reminder, and this goes first and foremost for myself as a parent, is that we should always model how to treat others with kindness and respect. We can't expect our children to maintain perfect behavior with others if they see us behaving rudely with our parents, or, for example, with our wife or our husband. If we're shouting at each other at home, if we have created that sort of environment at home for our children, we can't expect them to behave, perfectly outside with others. And we as parents don't always realize that our children are watching us, but we are being watched constantly. Our children are constantly watching us from the moment that they're born and onwards. They notice everything we do. Their ears, they listen to everything we do. I know my son is almost 2, and sometimes I don't know it, but he is watching me all the time. From the smallest things to, words that I say, he tries to repeat them. So it's always good to maintain good, language. Don't use bad words around children. Maintain, good behavior. Children are listening when you think they're not listening. And trust me, they are security cameras around us at all times. So just be careful about that. It's very, very important for us to be good role models with our children. And we have many beautiful examples of our Aimma. We have a call coming in, so let's take our call first, and then we can get to the story.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
My name is David Jafar, and I'm calling from California.
Thank you for calling. How are you?
Good.
Do you have any bullying experience you want to share with us?
Have you ever seen anybody being bullied before or any kids being picked on before?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you see?
I saw kids push somebody.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and what happened? Were they crying? Were they fighting? Was it at school?
Yes.
So did any teachers get involved? Did they help the kids out? No? There were no teachers around?
There were, but they didn't come.
They didn't come? Okay. So what happened? Did they just stop fighting themselves?
No.
Were they like same grader?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's really sad. A lot of times stuff like that goes on at school and parents, teachers don't find out about it. It just goes unnoticed, and stuff happens during recess, stuff happens during lunch, and kids don't want to go and tell the teacher about it. They don't want to be the tattletale and go and rat out the other kid, and then they're scared that the other kid might do something else. So these are all things, again, if we communicate with our children, if we have an open, friendly relationship with our kids, that they would be willing to share with us, and we would know what's going on with our children. Like I was mentioning before, it's very important, again, for us as parents to be our role models for our children. We have ourselves very, very beautiful examples of role models. We have our Aimmas, we have Anbiya, and they have provided us the best examples of kindness, of respect. We have many, many stories that we ourselves should read so we have information of, and as well as share them with others, share them with our children especially, so that they know, of our Aimma, of our Imams, of our prophets, and the stories about them talking about kindness, talking about respecting others. You all know the very famous story of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who used to walk on the street and the lady used to throw garbage on him from the top. And she did this on a daily basis. She did this all the time, and she would just throw garbage on him while he was walking through the street. And one day, she didn't throw garbage, and the Prophet was surprised, and he said, I didn't get any garbage thrown on me today. And he was worried. He went to inquire what happened, and he found out that the lady who used to throw garbage on him was sick. And right at that point, he went to go and see how she was feeling. He went for her ayadat. He went to go see her, make sure she's doing okay. And he went to go see her, and he said, I didn't get any garbage thrown on me today. I found out you were sick, and I came to see how you were doing. And at that much kindness and that much respect that our Prophet Muhammad gave her, she was so shocked and she was so disbelief, and she was in so much amazement at his behavior that gave her the opportunity to learn more about Islam, and she converted to Islam after that. And that is one of the best examples we have, is of our Prophet, of our Imams, and we should definitely keep that in mind. They are the best examples for us. And we're getting another call.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. What's your name?
My name is
Okay, thank you so much for calling. What do you have to say about bullying? Bullying is bad, isn't it? It's bad. Have you ever seen anyone being picked on? Yeah? You've seen someone being bullied before?
Yes.
Yeah, it's bad, isn't it? It's not very nice to pick on other kids. Yeah, thank you so much for calling. How old are you? How old?
Again.
Okay, thank you so much for calling.
Can I say story now?
Pardon me?
She's 4 and 4 years old.
You're 4 years old? You're 6 years old? What grade are you in? Do you go to school?
No,
Okay.
but I will.
Okay, thank you so much for calling.
Can I say story?
The office. So these are all important factors that we need to keep in mind as parents, as adults, when we have these role models in our own faith around us. We don't have to look anywhere else. We have our prophets, we have our imams who present us the best sort of examples, present us the best sort of advice for us, for our children. And it's very, very important. And I'd like to express again the importance of communication with our children today, especially in today's time, where there's so much negative influence, there's so much negative, media, there's television, there's internet, there's video games nowadays that are just so, full of negativity. They're very aggressive, they're very violent. And in times like this, living in the U.S. as Muslim kids, it's important for us to talk to our children, especially about Islam, where we come from, about the Ahlul Bayt, and remind them that we have very, very important role models, and it's very important for us to guide our children. And do you have anything else to say today about bullying?
Well, I want to say that I want all kids, all people to be bully free. Bullying is very bad and it's not a good thing. It can spoil us and it just leads us the wrong way. So don't bully anyone. If you're getting bullied, tell a trusted adult and who you're comfortable with, and just stay safe.
Right, there's just a few more things we want to go through about bullying, just a few more steps you can take, some things you can do when you see, any kind of bullying taking place. Do you want to go through
Okay.
the kind of steps that we have?
Okay, sure. Okay, so we follow the golden rule. Sometimes, the best way to avoid becoming the largest bullying is to treat people the way you want to be treated. If you're genuinely nice and respectful to others, most people won't target you as someone by bullying. So.
Okay, we have a call coming in. Let's take a caller.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
What's your name?
Salim Sayyid.
Thank you for calling. What do you have to say about bullying?
Have you seen anyone being picked on?
Have you ever seen anyone being bullied before? Hello?
No.
You've never seen anyone? What grade are you in? What was that?
I like your program.
You like our program. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Our program is done especially for you. So we want all kids to call in and talk to us and tell us what you want to talk about. Thank you for calling.
Hafiz.
This program is especially for kids. It's done, by kids, for kids, and we want you all to get involved, and we want you to let us know what topics are important to you, what are things that you would like to talk about. It can be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be about namaz and roza, fasting and prayer. It can be about homework, and it can be about subjects, at school. It can be about friends, lying, cheating, anything that you feel is important. It can be about sports. We'll have to do a little bit of research on sports. I don't know that much. But it can be anything that interests you as kids. So let's get to the next step. What is something else that we can do?
You have to trust your instincts.
Okay.
So not all bullying takes the, explicit form of name calling on Facebook or, the locker stuffing in school. Rosalind reminded us that abuse of power is inevitable. So if you sense that someone's speaking down to you, manipulating you, or embarrassing you, you're probably being bullied.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that someone grabs you and stuffs you in your school locker to be bullied, or someone kicks you and punches you and runs away. Sometimes if kids are just being mean, they're verbally abusing you, they're, being mean to you, they're, calling you names or picking on you, telling other kids not to be friends with you. That also falls under the category of bullying, and that's not very nice. And if you feel that someone at school does that to you, if you feel that, someone is telling other kids to not be friends with you, to avoid you, to not let you be in their group, for example, in their reading group or in their play group during recess or whatever, you should talk to your parents about that. You should talk to your teacher about that, and they can help you. They can help you find better friends to hang out with. They can help you find better people to hang out with, and they can also provide a better atmosphere in the classroom. They can talk to the kid who's doing that. So it's important to, again, as kids, for you guys to talk to your teachers and to talk to your parents about what's going on. We have a call.
Assalamu alaikum.
So, yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
What's your name?
Fatima Sayed from Seattle.
Fatima Sayed from Seattle. Thank you for calling. Fatima, have you ever seen anyone being bullied before?
Yes.
You have? What have you seen?
Hello.
What happened? How were they getting bullied?
Well, there's this girl, she was wearing hijab, and this boy, there's this boy, and this girl was wearing hijab, and the boy said, you wear the hijab because you have no hair.
Yeah. That's very mean.
Yeah.
So she told her dad, and the dad told the teacher, and the dad told the teacher, and she had a choice if she wanted to suspend the boy or keep him at school, and she chose to keep him at school.
Well, that was very nice of her.
Yeah.
Did the boy learn a lesson after that, that the girl was so nice that she let him stay at school even after how mean he was to her?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's, thank you so much for calling, Fatima. That's another important issue that a lot of Muslim girls especially face today, is the issue of hijab. And inshallah, as our show progresses, we will be talking about the issue of hijab, and Najiah will be discussing what they have to deal with in school with the issue of hijab. We have another call. Let's take a call.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. What's your name?
My name is Sinad, and I'm calling from California.
Calling from California. Thank you so much for calling. Have you ever seen anyone being bullied before?
And
You have? What did you see?
I saw that someone is hitting somebody else, and then they start to cry, and then they start to leave.
Uh-huh. So did this happen at school?
Yes.
Yeah. So when that happens, do your teachers help you out? What did they do?
No, because it's after school.
It's after school. So if it happened after school, there was nobody around to help you guys?
No.
Did you see that where the person, the bully, was he older than the person he was bullying?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for calling. Like we were talking about today, that is a major issue, and one of the most things that you would notice about bullying is that it usually occurs, the bully is usually bigger, not always, but usually the bully is bigger in size, or older in age, or maybe they're more popular. You know, they have all the friends at school. Maybe you're new at the school, you don't have as many friends yet, and they're popular at school, and so they have that power imbalance over the kids, and they use that power imbalance to, you know, to taunt them, to tease them, to hurt them.
They threaten the kids, and because they say that they have the authority, or sometimes it's the let's say it's an elementary school, and it's like the 5th graders or the 6th graders, if that's the highest grade, and then they kind of threaten the little kids and bully them.
Right. And like our friend who called in and mentioned, stuff happens after school, and many times it goes unnoticed. You know, there's nobody around to see that, and you don't want your child to experience that. If they do, God forbid, experience something, you want to be the ones they come to when they're in trouble, and you don't want them to keep it inside. You want them to tell you, especially, girls, for example, if they're wearing hijab, if someone is teasing them at school, you want them to feel comfortable to talk to you about the issue. And again, that all goes back to keeping the lines of communication open with your kids. Let's get back to some of the steps that we can take in regards to bullying.
Okay, so the 3rd step would be that you would want to, set clear personal boundaries. So when you sense the bullying happening, to you or to someone else, make it clear immediately that it's not cool. We know the step feels especially hard because it can sometimes, sound whiny or, overly sensitive, or like you're tattling. But your instincts have told you that someone's acting like a jerk, so it's now up to you to shut down the bad behavior by calling it out.
Right. Put a stop to it. Set your personal boundaries. If you think someone is bullying you, just let them know right away, hey, this isn't cool. You're not allowed to do that. You need to stop. And you might sound a little bit like you're whining. You might sound, like you're just, overly sensitive. But it doesn't matter. Your health, your safety, everything is more important than being bullied. So if you feel like someone's doing that, just try to put a stop to it right away and let them know that that bad behavior is not acceptable at all.
Sometimes people bully other kids not just because they hate them, but because they want to be more popular and they want other kids to be with them. Also because they're cool, they think that they're cool, and also because
they think by hurting you they're going to become more cool. By embarrassing other kids, they'll become more stronger, more cooler.
And other kids would want to be the bully's friend because they don't want to be bullied by the bully.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of pressure at school, and it's pretty tough. Elementary school, middle school, high school, it's really tough.
Okay, so you have to be confident. So if you were right to stand up for yourself or someone else, so you handled yourself with control and make it clear to the bully that he or she only holds as much power as everyone around allows. So you just took the wind out of someone bad sailed, and for that you made a good difference.
Right. Be confident. Be confident in who you are. And when you're confident, it doesn't matter what you wear. It doesn't matter, what you look like. As long as you're confident, you don't have to worry about anybody else. You don't have to fear anybody else will come and bully you. And if they do, when they see how confident you are, they'll back off. They're not going to bully you for the rest of your life. Be confident in front of them. Be strong in front of them. Let them know what they're doing is wrong. Let them know that it's not acceptable and you're not going to tolerate it. And if it does continue, you're going to let someone know. You're going to tell the teacher. You're going to tell your parents, and you're going to get others involved. And it's not right. It shouldn't happen. I think we had a lot to talk about today. I think we ran out of time as well. Thank you so much for joining us today on our show. It was our very first episode of Kids View on Velayat TV. And thank you, Najiah, especially our kid host. Thank you to all our wonderful, wonderful viewers, our dear children. It was definitely a wonderful first experience for us especially. I know I learned a lot. I know Najiah learned a lot while we were preparing for the show. The research that we did, it helped us a lot to learn about, the topic. We had information about it before as well, but not as much depth as, and hearing views from children, hearing views from our friends, it really helps us in getting a better perspective about what's going on. Like children were calling in and saying stuff happens after school, and teachers are not available, staff people are not available all the time to help them out. And so they're struggling, with these sort of issues on their own. And a lot of times they just keep it to themselves. They keep it bottled up inside. They don't discuss it with us. So we hope, you as well learned something a little bit for this topic. We hope it was beneficial for you as children, as our dear children, as well as parents and family members. We pray that we continue to bring you kids shows in the future, inshallah, and discuss issues relevant to our kids today, and hopefully get you, our children, more involved in this show. Again, this show is especially designed for you on Velayat TV. This is the first time we're doing a talk show, a live talk show, and we would like to hear your views. You're our special viewers, and we would like to hear, what you think is important, what matters to you. And hopefully we will get you involved more in matters that you think are important, that need to be discussed. Alhamdulillah, this was our, again, first episode. This was our first program. There's always room for improvement, and we welcome your contribution. We welcome your support in doing our best to make the show worthwhile for you. You can call in, you can email us, you can write to us. Anytime. We would be more than happy to hear your thoughts and opinions. You can call in and let us know what sort of topics are important for you that you would like us to talk about, and we definitely will schedule that. And this is your show. You can call in anytime with your comments, with your experiences, with your ideas. Finally, I'd like to pray for the security and for the health of all our children here in the U.S., but not only the U.S., all over the world, especially in places like Iraq and Palestine, Afghanistan, where kids are suffering very, very much. And especially in today's time where there is a major Shia genocide taking place. There's a major Shia genocide crisis in Pakistan that we need to accept and that we need to all stand up and do something for. We have women, we have innocent children, just like our own children who are suffering. So I pray for them, I pray for their safety, for their security. May Allah guide us, may Allah protect our children, keep us on the path of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, protect our children from all evils. Our children are our future, and it's our responsibility, our duty as parents, as adults, to do everything in our power to protect them, to provide them a safe environment, a healthy environment, and an Islamic environment, so that they may flourish into beautiful adults, into beautiful role models, all under the guidance of the teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. We have such beautiful role models. We should use them as our guides, as our role models for us and for our children and for everyone around us. And we should be able to provide that sort of environment for our children as parents. Thank you so much, dear viewers, for calling, for joining in with us, for participating. We loved to hear your views. We loved having you here on Kids View today. See you next week, inshallah. Same time, same place, and your very favorite Velayat TV channel with your very special host, Najiah.
I'm your host, Najiah. See you next week on Kids View.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.